everyone, Elwin Flyer here, and I am back with a guest this time. Want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, hi Summoners, my name is Mesarin. I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, he is my AR coach. I call him because otherwise I would be doo-doo at AR. So I really appreciate him coming on. He's a day one Fae player, so I really respect his opinion.
For sure, glad to be here.
Awesome. So yeah, we're gonna discuss the Winter Banner trailer that just dropped and thoughts on the units, including their art, skills, and weapons that they got. So we'll just jump right in and talk about Mirabilis first. Their artist, I personally really like Mirabilis' art, first and foremost. It's super adorable. Their artist also did Ninja Hannah, Base Lysithia, and Halloween Tiki.
Oh, wow, yeah, the art is so nice on this one. I really do like the art from Mirabilis.
Yeah, it suits her character. It's very pastel-y. I know the artist got controversy back when Halloween Tiki came out, but I think since then their art's been pretty, top tier.
I think it really captures the elements of the character well.
Definitely, yeah. No, and as for her kit, of course we got her PRF dance, which you said the other day her dance is the weakest of them all.
Yeah, out of every PRF dance we've ever gotten, I really think Mirabilis has the worst. I think, literally every other dancer does something very close but better than everything she does. I mean, aside from the fact that she grants +5 and then -5, which is the biggest number, I think you literally get more stats out of every other PRF dance.
Yeah, if you look even at just Peony, who was given to us for free, and then Duo Peony, both of those Peonies have super busted dances. I can't say anything for Plumeria because I never got her, but I know a lot of people use her for Astro Season and she's pretty crazy.
Yeah, I think Plumeria spreads, I think her debuff is bigger, it spreads across the spectrum of stats, but it only hits one target, which I guess is the one difference, but I still don't think that's very valid reason to only debuff attack, so.
Yeah, no, and it makes sense that her Winter Alt gets the PRF dance. As for her weapon, she did get a blue dagger called Dream Flake, and it grants res +3, so I'm going to assume she is probably pretty res heavy like her base form. And then if there's any penalties active on any of the foes within 3 rows or 3 columns centered on herself, it inflicts attack -5. So it's very similar to her dance. She also gets an attack -5 there.
For sure. I'm not sure how to feel about this weapon. I feel like it's extremely underloaded for what we're used to in current day weapons. I'm pretty sure this weapon is also super, super close to what her current, her original mythic forms weapon is, so it really just feels like a copy over, aside from the fact that obviously it's a dagger. Yeah,
they just went, okay, well, we need to give her a new weapon type and it needs to be wintry, but we'll just yeah, she's very samey in terms of, I'm guessing, stats, which we'll I think get later tonight, as well as her effects. Although she does come with a cantrip on this one. She gets speed cantrip 3.
For sure. I am not a fan of the cantrip line, especially with a unit like Mirabilis, who is known to be pretty res heavy. I don't understand why we wouldn't just get a sabotage here, or at least run sabotage speed. I'm pretty sure we can get sabotage speed a little bit easier nowadays too. I think it's come for free at least once.
Well, yeah, and if you look at the cantrips too, I'm pretty sure both cantrips are seasonal locked. One of them is on 4-star dancer. Oh my god, I forget her name. What's her name? Eldigan's sister has it.
Oh, Lashes, yeah.
Yeah, so she has a cantrip, and then Summer Dorothea has a cantrip, and I think that's it. And now we have it on another seasonal unit, which, I like the cantrips when I can get them on a Forma unit, but I think you're right in the sense that, especially for a unit like Mirabilis, she can definitely run better B skills.
I think they're a nice, straightforward skill. They obviously do what they're meant to do very easily, which is just target down one stat at the closest distance to you. But, I mean, I just feel like there's better ways to manipulate teams a little bit better and use some more skills that give you a little bit more of a push of value if you team build a little bit better.
Yeah. Well, and she's a dancer, so we all know what is really going to go in that B slot, and that is Wings of Mercy.
Oh, absolutely.
Just immediately Wings of Mercy. So, everyone, I hope you have your cane manuals ready.
Darn right. Supply is running low.
Not always. Alright, well, I think Mirabilis has definitely like S tier art. Kit-wise, nothing too crazy from what we haven't seen on her before, but not my focus unit, at least. I'm not sure about you. I don't think it sounds like she's your focus either.
I think she's literally the loser of the entire banner, if I'm being honest. I think the best part of her entire kit, which we haven't touched on yet, is the fact that she allows a Bracing Stance 3 to be available on a non-mythic unit, because I'm pretty sure it's only available on Mila right now.
Yeah, it's literally only on Mythic Mila, which I have my Mila at +1, and I foddered one off to Brave Dimitri, and I don't even run the stance on him right now, so I'm like, dang it, why did I do that?
Right, yeah, I literally can't see a use for her other than just like some nice fodder for an Omni tank if you need it, so
yeah,
not my winner for sure.
Yeah, no, art-wise, a winner, unit-wise, not a winner. Alright, well, we'll move on to the next unit then, who is Artur from Fire Emblem Sacred Stones. And their artist, Toby, has been with Faye for a really long time. Some more recent stuff they've done includes Azel. Last year, they did Winter Bernie, and they also did Resplendent Marth.
Not bad, not bad. Yeah, I'm a huge fan of Sacred Stones myself, and I really think the art captures the characters super well.
Nice. I did see some people saying online that it didn't, but I haven't played it myself. I have the game, and I will be playing it, so I trust your value. I think he looks cute, if anything. I don't know anything about him, but he's really cute.
Absolutely, yeah. That's all I really care about in this circumstance anyway.
Oh, no. Alright, well, I feel like we also care about his inheritable weapon, though, Snow Globe Plus, which is attack res unity built into the weapon.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I think this is one of the top tier available green inheritable tomes. I think the only one that would be better is the Bloons tome that you can get from Valentine's Alphonse. I do think it's a steep cost to try and get a hold of this, obviously, on a 5-star seasonal.
Well, and the other fact is they have defense res far save.
Yes, 100%, which you obviously can't inherit both. Defense res far save, obviously, if you don't have a far save, is a really, really good skill. I do think defense res is probably a lot better than like defense res near save, just because, especially in the modes you're going to be using saves as much, which is most likely Aether Raids, you're not really going to run into that res stat too much when you're doing physical attack. When you're just doing like one range attacks, but two ranges, you have your bows and your daggers as well, which are definitely pretty relevant in defense.
I'm waiting for people to start throwing this on Fallen Edelgard.
Yeah, that's scary. It's something I've managed to avoid, at least, is save Edelgards in actual capacity, but it's definitely a pretty spooky thing to run into.
I mean, like, Brave Edelgard I see a lot. I've seen her with both far save and near save, and probably more near save on Brave Edelgard. I think defense res far save would be really amazing on Fallen Edelgard, given her high stats in both those areas.
For sure, yeah. Honestly, I think any armor unit that can really handle the save potential. I don't think this really opens up any more potential for like additional candidates necessarily. But I mean, it's another source of save abilities, so you can't really balk at that.
Yeah, no, it'll be good for the save units who are already kind of in the meta. It doesn't mean that you can bring your Gwendolyn back into the game. Sorry, Gwendolyn fans.
Unfortunately, not. Gwendolyn fans on life support.
For them. And yeah, and then honestly, Kay, I was talking with my other friend, and he had said, why does Artur have odd follow-up 3? What is that doing there?
Yeah, I really think we're outdated going to odd follow-up 3. I'm pretty sure the last time we've seen that is Halloween Hector. I think it's really...
it was also on Plagian Raphael. Yeah, no, odd follow-up 3 did end up on Plagian Raph as well.
Oh wow, I didn't even realize that. That's pretty concerning, yeah.
That's because no one runs odd follow-up 3.
Yeah, no kidding. Well, the problem is like I said, sort of saying, it's a mixed phase ability. Bottom line is most armors base themselves on an enemy phase strategy, so like it's not even really necessary, and especially you're mixed phasing, but you're basically throwing away your even turns efficiency. Like that ability just turns completely off. So I would much rather have the ability to just follow up and actually have my abilities on all turns available. So
yeah, definitely. I think, you know, the Artur fans, I think you're better off giving him something else in his B slot. And, you know, he's the 5-star unit as well on there, but he's the 5-star unit that only gets 2 skills, so his A skill is totally up for debate here.
Absolutely.
But yeah, overall, once again, this is another unit where I'm like, wow, their art's really nice, and I know nothing about them, and I don't have a need for them.
I think this is a really good unit if you're missing a Far Saver, but aside from that, I think you are probably safe to avoid.
Yeah, I feel like most people picked up Valentine's Henriette when she was on the Hero Fest, yeah, whatever they call that event. I don't know, they do too many things now.
Absolutely.
Yes. So yeah, I think a lot of people picked her up. I see her quite a bit. So this is probably, in terms of going for a unit, he's a pass for me, and maybe a pass for you as well.
I would pass personally. The only way I could see pulling for this is if, like I said, if I was missing a save unit. I'm not in this case. It's really efficient in terms of pulling for seasonals to try and achieve a far save, but not necessary at this point.
Yeah, and he will have the best odds because he's on the green color, but my luck lately with green has been cursed, so I think I'm just going to avoid him.
Good call.
Alright, so we'll move on to the demote unit next. Manuela, who everyone immediately picked up from the silhouettes. That was not even like a hard guess.
Oh, instantly decided, absolutely.
Yeah, the hair especially, and honestly her big cloak gave it away. That's very much a her thing. But yeah, she also gets an inheritable weapon, and it's like Arter's weapon, but she gets built-in attack defense unity.
Yeah, no, it's a really solid weapon. I think there's a lot of options as opposed to Arter's Tome, where this is like probably a pretty relevant weapon for some of your like Gen 1, Gen 2 swords who got kind of shafted on their refine.
Or they just didn't even get a PRF refine.
Also a thing, totally. And I mean, the thing is I believe swords is generally considered to be one of the weaker inheritable pools nowadays. I think it's been almost a year we've really started to get swords available even. Like, it's in terms of like free to play at least. So definitely a really, really nice addition.
I think one of the last like good inheritable, like a seasonal sword was on Valentine's Conrad. His sword was fairly decent. I plus 10'd my Valentine's Conrad, but then I got a free copy from a like free seasonal hero summon, and then the manual copy, so I foddered off one of them for his sword, and it's not bad.
Definitely not a bad choice.
This is definitely better though. My only issue is the fact that it's a rapier, and it's not armor effective.
Yeah, for sure. It can definitely get a little confusing considering we have rapier as a PRF, which is available on, I believe, Baby Marth and Fina.
Yeah, only those two, non-inheritable, and this is a, like, I'm pretty sure in most, if not all, Fire Emblem games, rapiers are armor effective.
Armor and cav, typically.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess when you put some snow onto a rapier,
I guess if you wrap a green bow around it, that gets rid of its effective abilities.
What a shame.
Yeah, so that's simply, I think that's too bad, but the effect in itself is really good. And then in terms of her skills as a demote unit, Special Fighter, I think, is a really amazing skill to see on a 4-star demote.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely bonkers fodder on this unit. We typically get like really, really good fodder from your seasonals just because it's usually an incentive to pull for your 4-star focus. But like Special Fighter is definitely involved in a lot of the major builds. I mean, you can definitely run it on a favorite is definitely Brave Hector a lot of the time. There's several other units which super get lots of value at a Special Fighter. So to have it in a 4-star pool at a pretty cheap value, really, really good. Yeah,
and it's likely to be the 5-star lock skill, but that is still pretty dang amazing because you can more easily get copies of her than trying to pull for a 5-star copy in the regular pool.
Oh yeah, for sure. In terms of attack speed form, I mean, I think it's really nice that we have it available. I definitely don't think it's as good as some of the other attack speed A-slot options, just due to that 2 spaces of an ally limit. I think you can make it work in a number of game modes, but I don't think you can really reliably hope to get up to that +7/+7, so still good to have around though.
Yeah, not a bad skill, and I don't think attack speed form is on that many units to begin with, so
pretty limited, yeah.
It's actually not too bad. Although I'm confused because she has attack speed form and then Ignis. So you would think with Ignis her defense is going to be pretty big. But then attack speed form, I'm like, but is she going to be another speedy armor like last year's demote Hilda?
Exactly. She definitely seems like a bit of a split stat unit so far. It almost seems like the dump stat might end up being res in this case.
So maybe...
Which would definitely be interesting.
Yeah, maybe better not to run DC on her. I think the other thing I had thought too, I'm like, oh my god, are we going to get an armored dancer because of her history as a songstress in Fire Emblem Three Houses? And no, she is not a dancer or a singer.
Right, for sure. I mean, I do think there's a little bit of a usability issue to receive an armored dancer unless you're to bulk up the reason to use them, just due to the fact that you obviously want your dancers to be able to reach as far as possible, just to reach your further away units, but definitely would be quite an interesting concept.
Yeah, because we got a cav dancer with the duo Sigurd, which was a pretty big deal, and there's still a unit that I see most people use and I use myself.
Oh, of course, yeah. No, very impactful. I mean, the ability to have range on your refresh just gives you so much more potential, especially with your cavalry units, to refresh them up and get them even more range. So.
Yeah, I feel like if they had wanted to make Manuela like the 5-star unit, they could have maybe made her a dancer and give her armor stride, so if she starts the turn alone, then she gets that extra 2 movement, and you just have to somehow keep her alone. But, it's not the end of the world. I'm sure she'll get a base form in the game at some point, but I know a lot of Manuela fans are very happy with this.
Oh, absolutely. There's big reasons to be happy about this. I mean, one of the big things too is if you assume we're getting something similar to last year's schedule, this unit should bump up the BST for arena scoring up to about 190. I mean, it's slightly possible that she reaches 195 if IS decides to be incredibly generous, which means she scores at the very tippy top of duos right now.
That's crazy.
So, definitely a really good arena investment if that's something you're looking to max out. And and the fodder's amazing. There's not much more we can ask for when it comes to this 4-star focus. So
yeah, they knocked it out of the park with this, and they chose, I think, an appropriate character to choose. You're gonna get many people, I think, pulling for the +10 on Manuela. I am not one myself. I +10 Winter Hilda last year, so I have my winter armor.
For sure, yeah. No, myself, I'll be avoiding it. I'm waiting it out for Yen Fei, who will score, I guess, 1 bin lower, but has a little bit more applicability. I mean, using armors nowadays in Arena makes it a little bit difficult since we kind of solved the movement problem when it comes to duos and dual 4 skills, so a little bit hard to lug around a sword armor nowadays.
Yeah, especially if you don't have that extra movement, and unfortunately Armor Boots doesn't score well as a seal, and Armor Stride is incredibly limited, so unless you're willing to fodder off a Legendary Edelgard or a Fallen Edelgard, you're not going to get it.
I personally will not be killing off Edelgard.
I don't think I would kill off Legendary Edelgard because she is legendary, and I think that art's really good. Fallen Edelgard functions so well without any merges that I have actually already killed off one already, so. We'll touch on that more later, but let's move on to the last unit on the banner, which is our harmonized hero of Lysithea and Lute, who are characterized by the fact that they are both young and geniuses.
Yes, definitely a very interesting character. I think it's a really solid harmonic choice. It reaches out a little bit past just the very baseline ideas that of some of the characters you could come up with. Like the last one we had, Seliph and Leaf was an obvious choice.
And Seliph and Leaf, and while they're really good, I was like, this is very much like Winter Altina and Soniki. It's like you're from the same universe. You're not technically different games, but you are, so this is a really nice actual, like, they're 2 separate games bringing characters together that are similar, but also, not exactly the same.
Of course.
And yeah, they're also our first colorless tome unit, if I'm not mistaken.
That is correct, yes. One of the few colorless tome units in the first place. I think we
have maybe 4 others. We have like 4 others, I think.
Still? Yeah.
Yeah, because we have I think Bramimond, it was either Bramimond or Duo Micaiah who was the first.
I believe it's Bramamont.
Yeah, so we had them, and then Legendary Micaiah, and now Harmonized Lysithea.
And Brave Marianne.
Oh yes, oops. Oops. That just goes to show I don't use my Brave Marianne. Oh no, I'm gonna be called out.
She's no value.
No. Anyways. So yeah, another 3 houses unit with a colorless tome. They have Sweet Yule Log that accelerates special trigger because of course. And as long as their HP at the start of the turn is above or equal to 25%, they get attack and speed +6. And then they have a conditional brave effect, if I'm reading it correctly.
Essentially, the way that it works, from what I understand, is it's conditional brave in one way. It's conditional brave or conditional desperation. So I believe if they're over speed, they attack twice, like desperation, right away. And if it's under speed, they make a double.
Yeah.
So essentially, they're always going to hit twice before they get follow-up, or before they get counterattacked.
Yeah, which is just, once again, they've already power crept Duo Ninja Corn. Just like immediate power creep.
Yeah, for sure.
Immediate power creep. They have Swift Sparrow 3 and Attack Rest Bar Trace, which in my mind, yeah, both good skills, but things we've seen before, I'm not super amazed by the skills.
I would have much preferred a catch on the A slot, personally, like attack speed catch.
Yeah.
However, I still think Swift Sparrow 3 keeps its value. Even today, even though we've had it for a couple of years now. I do think AR Far Trace is definitely one of the most premium B slots you can probably give to this unit in the long run, just because especially if you're using an Aether Raid strategy, that Kanto is so valuable in order to just like hit and run. Yeah, and I'm not denying that these aren't both, like, amazing skills, because they're skills I use on units myself. It's just that, like, okay, this is, like, the premium unit on the banner, and they have 2 skills that we've already seen before, but winter units aren't necessarily the units that we always expect new skills on, so maybe my expectations were too high. Totally fair, yeah. I think the kit works, but I do agree it's pretty similar to other units we've received very recently.
Yeah, I did think, I'm like, okay, they're gonna get a Trace, or they were gonna get lull speed res, because both other Lysithias have lull speed res.
Yes, that's true.
I was like, maybe she'll just carry on being the only unit with lull speed res in their base kit. And then, of course, we also got C Feud 3 on them, which we just got red, our Feud 3, on the Awakening banner. So clearly they want to roll these feud skills out real quick.
Yeah, I am not a huge fan of these skills. I think the situational nature of them in the C slot is kind of detrimental. I think obviously when they actually work and what they do what they're expected to do, which is shut off skills and reduce stats, they're huge. But the problem is very similar to breaker skills, which we used to use back when the game started out. If you're not fighting against the correct kind of target, you have a dead C slot. So I would much rather have something like a joint drive, either speed or attack, to kind of factor out that weapon.
Yeah, that or a menace. If I went really premium, I'd go a menace on them too.
Menace is always nice as well, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And then their Harmonized effect, it of course has the Resonance Blades effect, and it also grants attack +6, but it also grants bonus doubler to themselves and allies in their range from the same game for 1 turn. So bonus doubler has definitely been receiving a comeback.
Yeah, for sure. We saw it last on Astrid, I believe. And I think it's really solid for a harmonic skill. I don't think it's the best harmonic skill out there, but I do think it obviously has some applicable skills to it. Obviously, 3 Houses and Sacred Stones units are pretty vast. There's a pretty good catalog.
And especially right now, and especially with this duo too, I think they're going to become really important in summer duels. Given the prevalence of units like Brave Erica and Fallen Edelgard in that game mode, you're definitely going to see this harmonized unit showing up there with this skill.
I think they really synchronize, but definitely to put a little bit of a damper on them. I'm kind of disappointed that this is what we've decided to go with for our next duo. Right after, considering the last thing we got was Ninja Corrin, this feels very, very similar.
Oh, it is totally. It's a Brave Cav tome. We just had that.
Yeah, for sure. And like the really unfortunate part to me is it really feels like Ninja Corrin kind of comes out ahead. We have some brave, like we get true damage out of Ninja Corrin's kit.
Mm-hmm.
We get guaranteed brave, or we're not having to really pay attention to stats, and we can quad like all the time with this unit.
Well, and they also have the duo skill of Ninja Lin like the year before. They just immediately refresh themselves and they can get out of the way.
Which in comparison is massive. I know we don't really have any harmonics that really go ahead and do the exact same thing. However, I do think it's way more impactful, and I think it lets them get in, get out a lot quicker for AR style strategies. I think they're just miles ahead. I do think this unit is obviously very impactful. It obviously has better matchups against, for example, reds.
Yeah, because it's colorless, it won't have to deal with the weapon triangle, but I think they have power creep in some regards, and then, like I said before, because they do kind of power creep Ninja Corrin, but I think long-standing, I think you are right, and that Ninja Corrin just overall is going to be the better unit.
Yeah, in the long run, I think it'll probably work out a little better. I do think they have some applicability in the fact that they'll always kind of have that ability to not have to worry about the true damage and outspeeding at all times, because they'll always get that double hit in at the beginning, even if they get speed crept.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas the true damage of Ninja Corrin will go down over time as speed kind of creeps up, but it'll be a while before that becomes an issue.
Yeah, power creep can't move too fast, even though it feels like it does sometimes. But yeah, overall, I think the Harmonized Duo is the winner of the banner.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, and that's to be expected when it is a duo unit. Often they are the ones that get the really crazy kit, they get the skill, and their art too is really nice. It is Amiga Taro, who also actually did Brave Lysithea, and they've done all the Ninos, and one of your favorite characters, they've done Myrrh, both normal and Halloween Myrrh.
Very nice. Both from games that I really like, both FE7 and FE8 art, so I'm a huge fan of that. Definitely a Myrrh fan over here. Yeah,
he has a great +10 Myrrh, so definitely, like, absolutely bonkers. But yes, and I forgot to mention Manuela's artist, just to touch on her again, but the artist has only done 2 other pieces before, but they're both some of my favorites, and that's Resplendent Olwen and the Harmonized Duo Dorothea with Lean.
Wow, yeah, that's actually, I can see it now for sure. That's one of my favorite arts in the
game. Going back to Manuela there, yeah, like, both of those pieces of previous art are amazing, and Manuela also just some top-tier art. But yeah, in terms of, units, I think the Harmonized Duo wins.
Mm-hmm. I think if you look at it in perspective of the fact that we normally get banners that kind of look like this, and you kind of factor it out, I think the Harmonized Duo has a little bit of a lower value than other duos, just due to the kit and the fact that we had such a probably recency bias due to Ninja Corrin. I do think Manuela, personally, for me, is the winner of the banner, just due to the fact that, not necessarily that they're going to up your gameplay by massive leaps and bounds, but just the fact that there's so much good fodder and so many available skills to keep the pool of skills healthy, right?
Yeah, no, so there's definitely, Manuela is just an all-around win-win, and I will still say that I think the Harmonized Duo is my winner of the banner, but I also I like having the duos, but Manuela is definitely second pick due to skills, art, the ability to +10 her with hopefully relative ease for anyone who wants to. I don't know, sometimes 4-star specials can be really tricky to get, or 4-star demote, sorry.
Yeah, luck can be unfavorable for sure.
It definitely can. But yeah, before we give our sort of final thoughts on this, I also wanted to touch on the fact that this banner got leaked the day before it dropped. So basically the silhouettes came out, and the next day after the silhouettes, everything got leaked except for, I think, skills. So that's our 3rd seasonal banner in a row that's now been leaked.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of the leaks. I know some people are. I think from a standpoint of just interest and excitement for trailers, I think it kind of drops some of the enthusiasm. I don't mind it too much when it's something like this, where it's one day out and we kind of find out. But I think we have the Ninja banner down almost a month.
That basically all of November got leaked, right down to the Resplendence, which is just absolutely insane.
Yeah, I find that to be somewhat disappointing. I really hope there's a bit of a hold on that. I know it's kind of fun for people to find out their favorites are coming and they can save up a little bit more.
Yeah, or if it's the opposite and it's, you know, it's not your favorite and you're like, good, I don't have to spend my orbs. I can now plan accordingly.
For sure.
But yeah, I think it puts a damper on the community as a whole. It definitely ruins reaction videos because people can't have genuine moments when you log onto Twitter and first thing you see is art of the new units, and how do you avoid that, you know?
For sure, it kind of takes advantage of it and kind of just, it definitely spoils the fun of it, I think, personally. I really always, one of the more fun parts for me is watching trailers, figuring it out. I mean, for me, I've never even really liked silhouettes. I'd rather just avoid them and not really take guesses or watch other people's perfect guesses of them. I'd rather just watch the trailer the day it comes out and get excited then.
Alright, that's fair. Well, I won't send you silhouettes anymore then. Good to know. So, yeah, I don't know what is going on at Intelligent Systems. I know the joke online, it's always the intern coon is leaking stuff. But they clearly do have some kind of issue going on with someone leaking from there, or, you know, they're putting stuff into the game too early and people are checking the files out. I'm not too sure which one it is. But yeah, I think, you know, leaks generally bad. I think some people do like it to try and, you know, plan out their orbs and other needs in the game, but overall it's not good for the community.
I would have to agree with you on that. Definitely would like it if we can patch up the leaks before we head into more seasonal.
Yeah. Although, I mean, how many of the past years we've had New Year's leaked? So get ready for New Year's units to be leaked. I'm not going to be surprised if they are.
That's just tradition at this point.
That's just a fact of Fire Emblem Heroes. New Year units are always leaked. Just accept it.
Absolutely.
Well, alright. Well, our final question here, and it's a question I'll pose to everybody. Should people spark on this banner? Because this is the one seasonal banner we get, really, that allows you to do not just one spark, but multiple sparks to get every unit. So should you spark? What do you think?
My personal opinion would be, I mean, obviously, if your favorites are here, you're going to spark. That's not what you're here to get answered. I think, personally, the only times I would be sparking here is if I was trying to be a lot more serious in resonant battles and was missing those titles, or if I was trying to finish off Manuela. I think there's a lot better options, especially with like far save in the regular pool. I don't think Mirabilis is really going to up your strategy or up your gameplay that much. And really, it's not like any of these units is going to be majorly game changing or really change the way anything gets played with any of these skills or harmonic abilities. So I think if you're in a position where you're not quite sure, you should probably just keep saving your orbs.
Yeah, and that's what I'm inclined to say as well. I wrote down that yes, but only for the harmonized duo in terms of resonant battles if you're needing it, or for maybe summoner duels if you didn't get Ninja Korin, because this is probably also a good cav option for summoner duels. But otherwise, unless you really want to plus 10 Manuela or you're the biggest Mirabilis or Ardor stands, I'd say this is probably a hard pass. Unlike last year's Winter Banner, which was, for me, an easy spark on.
Oh yeah, last year's Winter Banner had a lot of really crazy skills that changed things. I mean, I think that was our first appearance of Odd Recovery.
Yep, that was Sephiroth got Odd Recovery, Winter Altina had Attack Res Unity.
And Winter Altina, even nowadays, is an incredible AR unit, one of the few that can still hold up as an Omni tank if you can manage to get off Vantage. So, those units are just so incredible, and I think compared to this, it's a little bit of a flop, but you can't win them all, right?
No, exactly, and we're gonna have more new heroes coming up soon, and that means probably another Ascended hero, and at the end of the month, we're gonna get the New Year's banner. So I think unless you're gonna need any of these units or they're your favorites, I'd personally hold off.
I would definitely 100% agree with that. I think it's better to save up for your projects, look forward into the future, look into your legendary and mythic schedules or whatever sort of reruns you're looking for, and just keep on saving and watch those orb counts go up.
Yeah, it's always nice to see the orb count go up. Definitely an enjoyable thing to watch. Alright, well, I think we'll just end it there, but thank you so much for coming on. I really appreciate your input on this. You've been amazing.
Absolutely, my pleasure, anytime.
Awesome. Well, everyone, I hope, best of luck to those who do summon on the banner, and to those who keep saving. I hope you get what you want really soon, and you all have a great rest of the week here. Bye!
Wishing you the best. Bye.